Hi, welcome back to the MDS Guru podcast. This is Melinda. Glad you're here, listeners. Taking a tiny little break in our QM series. I think we only have one of those episodes left. Today we're going to talk about how to claim COVID successfully on the MDS because it keeps coming up, and I guess I should say how to claim COVID isolation or any isolation. You must have all these things in place to claim this on the MDS. First of all, it has to be a community-acquired infection. And that comes into play with C. diff, and I did a whole episode on that. And you can find that on the page if you want to listen to it. Make sure that you're doing everything right because they are 100% denying these COVID claims that do not have everything that you're supposed to have. Okay, you need in your documentation look back a note as to why the resident is in active infectious disease isolation and what type of transmission-based isolation precautions the resident is on. And I said note, but it probably should be a doctor's order. This should be a doctor's order. The second thing you're going to want to make sure of is that your resident does not have a roommate. I have seen this thrown out before because they forgot to put this in their documentation, even though when they referred back to the facility census, it showed that the resident had no roommate. If it's not in the documentation, they're not going to count it. If the roommate has the same illness, no cohorting. Make sure they're not sharing the bathroom with someone because I ran into that 2 weeks ago. Two residents, both had COVID, shared a bathroom. Can't do that either. You're going to need to have one person using the toilet, and that's going to have to be documented, and the other person using a different toilet or using a porta chair, whatever the case may be, but they cannot share a bathroom. You also need to make sure it's in your notes that all services were provided in the room, including therapy, meals, activities, again, toileting if there's a potential issue there. Remember, you just need to capture this all for one night to be able to put it on the MDS. And you can find more details on page 6 of the Missouri Supplemental Documentation Requirements User Guide or page O-8 of the RAI manual. A couple of little incidental things I want to mention is make sure you're checking your iKeys folder weekly for that QRP validation audit notification. You may be getting it, you may not, but you don't want to miss it if you do get it. Make sure you have your 60-day signatures on all your orders. That keeps happening. I actually see medications validated in the 7-day look back more often than I see them signed in the last 60 days validating the diagnosis or the medication by the physician. And your certs, don't forget your certs. Right out the gate, the whole stay can be denied if you're not doing your certs correctly. If you're bored and you want to look up what's going on with the OIG, you can go to their website and look under enforcement actions and look at what they're doing to homes and things. I mean, not just homes, but make sure anything you're coding on the MDS is medically necessary and that you have the orders and the signatures. The timing of the signatures continues to be a problem for most places. This is Melinda for Renshaw Consulting. Reach out to me if you need any help. And thank you for listening. Until next time. Bye.